Hey there, it's Elizabeth and welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can see, we're going to be reviewing some products that Arteza has sent me to review. You probably saw the last video where I did a review on the sketchbook, which is a watercolor book, and also the watercolor palette, the 36 watercolor palette. And it was lovely. So today we're gonna go over these items here. I'm gonna go over again with you the watercolor book because as I've been using it, I'm finding out new things about it and I wanna share that with you. They have also sent me the 48 pack of TwiMarkers, the sketch TwiMarkers, and so we'll be going over those today and also a set of 4 bone folders. So let's start with the smallest thing first, I think. Okay, let's get these out of the way. So they sent me this 4-pack of bone folders. Now I can tell you quite honestly, aside from the little skimpy bone folder that that came with my scoreboard, I've never owned bone folders before. So this is a new experience for me. There we go. Bone folders typically, from my understanding, are used to make score marks and also to burnish things. Okay, so let's get started with the scoreboard. Where did I put it? Okay, now what I like to do sometimes is make cards, right? I do believe that this card was made from the layered flowers that I did using the Arteza watercolor half pans. So I like making cards. So it's easier if you use a scoreboard to score the line and make your paper fold easier. So this is 8 across by 6 down. So we're just going to take this bone folder right here and we're going to score it at 4. And it seems to work fairly well. And you can hardly see it, but there you can see it. So you just kind of manipulate the paper. Okay, once you have it folded, scoreboard goes out of the way somewhere. Okay, and then you can then use the side to make a nice crisp crease. And that's what a bone folder is for, I believe. So they have these other ones. I'm not really sure what this one is for. It has a much sharper point on it, so I would be afraid to use this on a scoreboard just because I think it would break the paper depending on the thickness of the paper. But they have this one in the pack of 4 as well. And then this one here is more like a burnishing tool. So if you're burnishing something down, if you know, possibly if you stick something to a paper using maybe double-sided tape and you want to burnish it, then you burnish it using this thicker one here. And then this one here looks more or less like the ones that I've seen. The point on it is not very sharp. I don't think it would puncture your paper. And then it has this little scoop right here, so it fits right in your hand perfectly. So there's that, a set of 4. They appear to be very sturdy, very thick, you know, made of plastic. And yeah, I'll have fun using these while I'm making my cards. So there's that. Be sure to check all the links below. I will, of course, put all the links down in the description box for Arteza art supplies at arteza.com. And there will also be a coupon code down below where you can get, I do believe, a 10% discount if you order Arteza art supplies with the coupon code NeverHopelessElizabeth1. And yeah, so let's get into this. All right, because I've had a little bit more time to use this book, not this one in particular. These books, sorry for the glare, come in a 2-pack. Okay, they come in a 2-pack, and it is 8.3 inches wide by 11.7 inches tall. So it is a large watercolor book. The watercolor paper in it is their premium paper, which is 110 pound and 230 GSM. Now, and it's cold press as well. So, of course, that means like versus hot press, which means the cold press paper has a texture on it. Hot press is thin. Now, or not thin, I'm sorry. Hot press is smooth. Now, I can tell you, these are some of the things I've noticed after I've been using the other book that I have. The texture is on one side of the paper and the other side is more smooth. So I found that to be interesting. So this side has a texture to it and the opposite side does not. Okay, so you have two facing pages right here with texture, and then you turn the page. Okay, this is like a glued in signature. Well, that's a little bit hard to fold over. And then this is smooth here, this is textured, turn the page, smooth on this side, and smooth here. So it just all depends, I guess. Some of them are smooth and some of them are textured. Anyhow, in using this book, I have now realized that I enjoy a higher GSM, like a 300 GSM, and a higher pound of paper, like a 140 pound paper. That's just my preference. The higher the pound and the higher the GSM, the thicker the paper is. And I just happen to enjoy that a bit better. I found, and I'll show you when I do this, when I show you the swatches, I found that this paper pills a bit, you know, so depending on how much water you put on it. But yeah, it's a nice huge book. It would make a great art journal. It would make a really wonderful collage journal as well. And a sketchbook or a watercolor practice book, I would say. But as far as watercoloring goes, I would rather have the heavier paper, and ARTEZA does offer an expert watercolor paper. They offer it in pads. I'm not sure if they offer it in sketchbooks. You'll have to look on their website, but they do offer 2 pads with 32 pages in them of 140 pound weight and 300 GSM, which is the paper that I prefer. It's cold press, and it retails for $26.99. Now, you could always go to the box store or your craft store with a coupon and get it a little bit less expensive than that, because that would come out to, you know, like $13 a pad, right? And yes, so if you go and you have a coupon or you go on a sale, you could get it probably less expensive at a craft store. But these books are great. They appear to be, you know, well made. They are stitched binding with glue and nice and big for your projects. So I think that's all I wanted to say about this book, and then we'll move into, sorry for the glare, I just cannot help that. Okay, now we're gonna move into this sketchbook, which I used to, I hope you can see all that, yep, okay, which I used to swatch out these, okay? So ARTEZA sent me this beautiful pack of 48 sketch TwiMarkers, and the TwiMarker, it just means that they're dual tipped, so I'll show you that. Now they come in this really cute little box. You can choose to keep them in there or not. I know in other reviews I've heard people say that they think that, you know, their packaging may be a little flimsy. That doesn't bother me, because I will take all of these out and put them in a pencil case anyway and store them, or put them on my desk to store them horizontally. And so the packaging doesn't bother me, as long as it's not all beat up in shipping and it's sturdy enough, you know, to ship and not mess up what's inside. That's all I care about as far as packaging. It is pretty packaging though, I must say. So this says unique colors, water-based ink, blendable, compact, ideal for watercolor techniques and journaling. Okay, we're gonna get into that in a minute. As most of you know, if you've been on my channel, I am a journaler. And so I'm just learning how to watercolor. And so I would use these more for my journaling. Now, they come in all of these luscious colors, okay? They are beautiful colors. every color of the rainbow and more. So I do, first thing is that I do love all of the colors. They are great colors. And I work a lot with markers in my journaling. So, and I love color. If y'all have been watching my videos, you know I love color. So this is fabulous for me. Okay. Now on them, let's just take one right here. If you can see, if it'll, there we go. Non-toxic, always good. Okay. I like that the barrel is clear. So if, you know, if I'm looking for a blue pen, I find the blue pen, you know. They also have right here, this is cerulean blue, A615, very clear color and number on here. It is dual tip. So I want to keep this in focus. Okay, so this tip on the right hand side here is, I do believe, a 0.4 millimeter, which is super thin, and I'll show you that in a second. And then this over here, this tip is a brush tip. Okay, so you can use that for a variety of things in your artwork. So I swatched these out, okay, and I wanted to see the blendability. Like, can these be used, because they're water-based, for watercolor techniques, okay? Now, in my opinion, well, let's just go, first of all, with this right here. Okay, so I have the chart here, my swatch chart. Here I swatched out the brush tips. Here I swatched out the fine tips. Here I added water and tried to blend, you know, blend it out. And then here I swatched these colors out, left it for 24 hours, and then went back in with water to see if they would reactivate. Now, what I found was that, first off, the colors are all very juicy. I did not run into one marker that was dry at all, not one. So that's impressive. I love all the colors, I've already said that. When I went to go blend out these little stars right here, I only have 4 of them, which means that they were very juicy, which all of them were juicy, I've already said that, and worked well with water initially. Okay, so this is the neon, right? Neon yellow. Love this color, the lemon yellow. That, when that activated with water perfectly, just like watercolor. Which other one? And this one right here, if you can see that. This is the orange one. But the thing that I had an issue with was, if you'll notice on all the swatches I did, and these are the ones I added water to immediately after swatching them, there is really, with exception to this lemon yellow and the neon color, every single other swatch, you cannot get rid of that harsh line. It is not, it activates with water and it spreads with water, and obviously you can see that you can, you know, get a watercolor effect. However, if you're drawing something, you're never going to get rid of these harsh lines, right? So, and I found that to be true with all of them, with exception to these 2 yellows. Okay, I found that, see, you can see every single one here, you can see a harsh line. So it did not blend out, you know, completely. Then I went back in 24 hours later, and as you can see right here, some of them reactivated. This lemon yellow is just fabulous. I don't know what's in it, why it's different than all the other ones, but this one blended out, you know, very well, even after 24 hours of dry time. And all the rest, see, like some of them didn't even reactivate, or just hardly reactivated, right? Okay, so after saying all that, I decided to do a little bit of more experimentation. And what I found was that I wanted to see if the paper made a difference. So I went to my Canson water pad book, and it made a difference. It made a difference, in my opinion. Now, These are just some of the yellows here, okay? You can still see some harsh lines, still a little bit, but for the most part, a lot of the yellows and the orange, a little bit of a harsh line there, blended out fairly well on this paper, and this is 140 pound 300 GSM. Now then I did this little flower here, and all I used was the hot pink. No, I used neon pink. All right, I used the neon pink, and I just made little marks here at the bottom, just little tiny marks with the brush tip, and then I took my watercolor brush and I tried to feather it out. Okay, you can still see some harsh lines, but it's not too bad, and the paint did spread fairly well, I think. Okay, and again, this is on heavier paper, so the paper does make a difference, in my opinion. And then up here, I just tried to use the brush tip to write out just in my regular handwriting with a little bit of, you know, cursive. And you can do something like this, like in your journal. And then here is just some lettering with the word hope, with some shadowing on it. What I found also, because let me see, it does say that it's like for calligraphy and things like that. I found the tips, like this one here is blush pink. See the tip on that, it is a nice tip. It's pointy at the end. Okay, there's something hanging off that tip that I don't need. Okay, all right. But then let's see. I found that if you're trying to do like calligraphy, which, I mean, granted, I'm not really good at, but I didn't find that the tip springs back very quickly. You know, you have to have a very light hand in order to do like brush lettering techniques. So, but it works fabulously for this type of lettering if you want to do something like that. Now back to the paper, I found, see this paper right here is it comes from this book right here. Okay, I took it out. It's the 110 pound 230 GSM that they sent me, ARTEZA sent me. This is how the watercolor came out on their paper. Okay, on the what's it called? The lighter paper. And this is how a leaf came out when I added water. So just barely a hint of color spreading there. Not as much as I would like to see, although, like I said, if you use heavier paper, which ARTEZA does offer, I think your outcome is going to be different. You're going to be able to use it more like a watercolor type of thing, if that's what you want to do. Now, let me show you one last thing that I do, that I love to do, and that is smush paper. Okay, because I journal, I make a lot of tags and tuck spots and use various types of paper, and I love doing this, and I have a video on my channel for the smush paper, but I just wanted to show you really quickly how to do it. And I use the brush tip end of the markers, and let me get my paper. Okay, this is their paper from the watercolor journal. I put it underneath here. Let me see if I can, all right, sorry for the glare. Okay, and all I do is take the brush tip and scribble it on. Now, you can do this with any kind of markers, okay? You don't need to have ARTEZA markers, but what I like is there's such an array of, you know, of colors in this set. That's what I like, and they're super duper juicy. Okay, so if you're not into, like, you know, trying your hand at watercolor, if you're not you know, confident in doing that or confident in brush lettering, there are a lot of other ways to use these markers. And like I said, I absolutely love the color choices. I really, really enjoy the color choices. So this is one of the things that I really enjoy doing with my brush pens, is making really colorful, vibrant backgrounds. So you just take your marker and squiggle some color on it. Because they're water-based, excuse the reach, you use water. So I'm just going to spritz some water on here. The only reason I put the paper behind the sheet of plastic, is just a sheet protector, is to know where to put my color. Okay, now I've got a bunch of water on there. I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna stick it right on here. Almost like mono printing, only with water. And when I lift it up, I'm just giving it a little bit of time to seep into the paper. And when you lift it up, you get this beautiful, vibrant, you know, color combination. The colors mix, they spread. It's very cloud-like, very gentle color, but still vibrant, and I love it. And then I will take this and cut these into tags to use for journaling and whatnot. Okay, again, I'll put the link below to the tutorial for how to make the smush paper. It's really a lot of fun. Then you just lift it up and look at that rainbow of color, right? So beautiful. Okay, then we just set it over here to dry. I hate wasting that color that's on there. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take our ARTEZA book and we're just gonna plop it down. We're just gonna plop it down, let it soak that up, move it around, squish it around. It just makes a fun background. A fun background. And we'll put it over here. Don't waste anything. Okay, there you go. And then we'll let that dry. Okay, so that's just one very fun way to use the markers. Also, you know, like right here on their packaging, I mean, it is great, I would think, for journaling. For I didn't have too much luck with the what's it called, with the like hand lettering, you know. I didn't have too much luck with this, and it could be just because I'm heavy-handed when I write, and so it's hard for me to lift the pen up. And I didn't find that I found that the points of the brush tips were very flexible. So they didn't really, when I lifted the brush up to come to a thinner point, I felt like it didn't bounce back quickly, I guess, if that makes any sense. So when I'm brush lettering, I like the tips of my brush pens to be a little bit more stiff. I think that's what I'm trying to explain to you. But they're super great for doodling and coloring little things in. Oh, I also wanted to show you really fast on here, which is fine, that can just go there. Very thin tip on the other side. Very, very thin. A little too thin for my liking. I like more of a thicker, like flare tip kind of size, I guess. And this again is 0.4 millimeters. So overall, I think it's a fun item. The TwiMarkers. I do intend on practicing using them. You could do a lot of fun little things with them, especially with the doodling. And if you're working in like a bullet journal or a regular journal or whatever the case is, you know, to do your cute little lettering if you want to, try out some watercolor little designs, flowers, or whatever you want. But they are not as water reactive as I would like them to be. You know, I mean, but of course, if you want to watercolor something, then, you know, use watercolor. That's what I have to say. But super, super fun color choice. Loving all the colors. The choice of colors, loving them all. Now, blendable. They talked about being blendable. Well, let's see here. Where do I have a piece of paper? Hello? I have a whole book in front of me. Jeez. Okay. Let's just... Okay, this I don't like. All right. Sorry. Just saying. This is a review, and it's going on far too long. Okay, so when I turn the page, see, the other one's coming with it. It's coming with it because it's glued. You know, the signatures are sewn and glued. I don't like that. So in other words, as far as paper goes, I would rather have loose paper, not in a book. So let's just see if these are blendable. So we're gonna take my favorite colors. This is lemon yellow. We're gonna start out with the lighter one. And look at that vibrant color. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty, so pretty. Okay, and then on top of that, we're gonna put this, whoa, a very bright pink. Let me see what the color is. Fuchsia. Love this color. Okay, and we're gonna go a little bit into the yellow. If you're gonna do this, you always wanna go put your light down first and then your dark on top, because if you do it the opposite, you're gonna contaminate the tip of your pen. So just a little hint. Okay, sorry for the reach. Let's just get a big old fat brush, dipping it in water. We're gonna see what happens here. So see, it does of course activate with water, but if you can see, it is, you cannot get rid of the harsh lines. Okay, another thing I've noticed as well with this paper, and I'm assuming it's because of the weight of the paper, it pills, you know, it pills if you use a lot of water. So it's pilling right here, okay? Now, it is blending because obviously pink and yellow, you know, will make an orange. But see, I don't like that harsh line right there and right down here. I don't like that. Another thing you could do as well, which I just remembered right now, let's just use this fuchsia, is you can take this and put it on plastic, right? Color it on plastic. Take your paintbrush and dip it on there just like a palette. I hope you could see that. Oh, with the glare. Jeez. Okay, see that? I just colored it. Sorry. Okay. And there you have it, right? You can use it as a watercolor. So that's what I would suggest to you folks then. If you are looking to use these types of markers as watercolors, then draw on a piece of plastic, like on a palette first, and then wet it with water, and then use it as a watercolor. My suggestion would be, unless you're using, heavier paper, I would not really suggest trying to do it this way, where you draw something and then try to draw the color out with the water. Because this is the ARTEZA paper, the lighter weight paper, and it does not flow. It does not flow very well at all. So that would be my only suggestion. The blendability, again, if you're doing it right onto the paper, you're gonna keep a harsh line. If you wanna blend it on a sheet protector or like this on a sheet, you know, on a piece of plastic first, and then put it on the paper, then you'll get the blendability I think that you want. And you could always do Mush Paper. So yeah, that's how this one came out. Love that. And then I'll just cut this up and make it into tags. So they are versatile. There are a lot of things you could do with them. I have enjoyed using them for lettering. The thinner points, like I said, the thin side is 0.4 millimeter. That's a little thin for me. Not a fan of that, but yeah, but I could use them in doodling. Okay, and so yeah, I think that's it for the sketch TwiMarkers. Yep. And for the book itself, so yeah, everything. Okay, so thank you so much to ARTEZA for sending me these items to try out. I'm gonna have so much fun playing with them and experimenting some more and making, of course, Mush Paper and all sorts of fun things. Remember to check the links below for arteza.com. There will be some of the links in there are affiliate links. It just means that if you order through ARTEZA using the links below, I will be compensated a little bit. It is of no extra cost to you. And also check out the link for the coupon code below. You can go to arteza.com. When you go to checkout, you can put in the coupon code NeverHopelessElizabeth1 at the time of checkout and receive what I believe is a 10% discount. So all the information will be linked below. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope it gave you a few ideas on how to use these pens, the markers. And yeah, so thank you again so much for spending your time with me. Hope you have a great day and a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.